Hello, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us today. We're doing our regular Tuesday night, Tuesday evening, Tuesday night Q&A question and answer session where you take your questions about U.S. immigration live for general educational purposes only, not intended as individual legal guidance. I come here every Tuesday to just see what's going on. If I give some a better understanding of what's going on in the complicated U.S. immigration system, we take your questions. Been doing it for 5 years, and again, God willing, I say this every time, another 5 years added to that, so we could help people have a better understanding. Because again, this stuff changes a lot. It's different. You're gonna hear different things from different people. So on the things our office handles, we don't handle asylum. We don't handle court cases. We focus on people getting married and fiancés and family members, dealing with adjustment of status or consular processing, removal of conditions, citizenship, people who are small-time investors, E-2 visas, L1s, that want a company, want to branch out to the United States, as well as people with extraordinary ability getting a green card, EB-1A, not the O1 version. We're very limited in what we do, but we want to be really good at those and just focus on those to help families and people with extraordinary ability, talents, and small investors to be able to come to the United States to take their life to the next level. Now, we have a guide called the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. You can download it. 70 plus pages of just good information. It's free. Just go to our website, our second website, marriageimmigrationlaw.com is the website name, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And if you're interested in citizenship, what is it called? Naturalization. We have a guide called the Ultimate Naturalization Citizenship Guide, and you can download that at not marriage. That's the other one. It's at jqqlaw.com. That's our official website, but /citizenship. jqqlaw.com/citizenship is the place to go for the citizenship guide, and it'll give you a good understanding of what's going on there. 50 plus pages in that guide, free. You just got to download it and then schedule a consultation. Once you see, wow, John really hooked it up by having this detailed guide, putting it all there. It's amazing. And then you want to hire us. It's that good. And Shiva, thank you so much for joining. Hello to you as well. We'll start taking your questions. Just shoot them out, and we'll see what we can do to get you a better idea. Nala says, can I ask a question? Go ahead, Nala. Hope you're still on the line. And thank you, everyone who's already left likes. I appreciate that. Pavés, thank you so much. And feel free to like, especially on TikTok. Let's see how far up we can go. We have a good amount of people, some people in the group. Feel free to shoot out your questions as we get started. The immigration system, user 702, thank you. I appreciate that. The immigration system every day is an upheaval with all the insanity of things going on. Right now, this public charge rule is going to be a big problem where they're going to look into your personal background, financial background, health background, all this kind of stuff, how well you speak English, what educational degrees you have, and a lot more. You know, that's it. We have to deal with it. Now, most cases will probably still be fine, but on the cases on the edges, it becomes more worrisome. So it's a weird situation. Shiva asks, hi, I applied for N400 citizenship in August 2025. How long does the process take in Baltimore, Maryland? I don't know how long it'll take in Baltimore, Maryland. Shiva is too specific there. I haven't filed a case in Baltimore in a bit, so I don't have any reference for that. Probably is going to take 4 to 8 months average time. That's a safe thing to say. Now, more importantly is hopefully you don't have any particular issues that come up. You got your green card properly. You haven't had any arrests. You paid your taxes. You haven't had absences from the United States for too long. That can be problematic. Stuff like that. So that's something to be mindful of, to pay attention to. But overall, that's it. Most of these citizenship cases right now are pretty quick, actually. Surprisingly, they're working on it pretty quick. I didn't expect that to happen under Trump administration, but the USCIS field offices for adjustment of status cases, especially marriage and citizenship, are pretty quick. And every office is different depending on how they're backed up, the staffing levels they have. There's different things that make it variable, whether they're on top of it or not. But overall, it's happening pretty fast. It's winter time started here in Los Angeles. It's been raining, and I thought all the mosquitoes were dead. And there's one that was stuck in this room with me, and it was getting me, and I'm afraid it got my leg right now. It's coming at me. So you might see me swatting here and there watching the video format of this darn mosquito. We have a question from Short Spoke. Says, married as was bona overstayed on U visa, U criminal history, applied for green card. Hide. And work permit, as well as how long is the process to get a work permit? Your question at first doesn't look clear, but I think you're saying you have a U visa applied for. How long does it take to get a work permit? Those could take a while. I mean, months, and I don't have a perfect timeline. Just getting a receipt on a U visa application. Right now, we have a recent case we did. I don't usually handle U visas. It was for an existing client I made an exception for. It took 5 months just to get the receipt. Another colleague told me it took them so long to get the receipt that the certification from the police department got expired. I have to do a new one now. Disaster. So how long does work permit take? It's going to be a problem. It's going to take a while. But I haven't done a work permit on U visas. I rarely file them unless it's a rare occasion. So our firm isn't big on those kind of cases. User 23 says, how long did it take to process an I-601 waiver? Thank you. Unfortunately, I-601 waivers are taking, anywhere from 6 months to 4 years. It's a big average, closer to 2 or 3 years average on those cases. It takes a long time for them to even get around to looking at it. Laffy says, how are you? I got the green card through marriage in February. Now I got a letter. I need more information. What you mean? Brazuka says, good evening to you too. But thank you for the gift badge, a happy face. Just be more specific as to what your question is so we could give an answer over here. Rachel and John, thanks for joining. Nala, thank you for joining as well. Coming back in, feel free to ask your questions here. And if you haven't liked already on the feed, like and subscribe so you get more stuff just like this. We do a lot of videos and shorts breaking down what's going on in the visa process. Shiva says, I have one more question. Go ahead. What's your question? Maher says, I'm a paralegal student graduating next month. Any advice for new paralegals? I like all law. Well, you shouldn't like all law. You should pick a law area that you really like and just stick with that. Learn as much as possible. If you're doing immigration, go to Immigration Lawyer's Toolbox. Watch all my videos on that, the magazine, study it. So when you interview at somewhere, you say, hey, listen, I know all this stuff. I'm really good at it. And it can really help you out. Okay, so this new software I'm using for these videos has a glitch where you can't really see what's going on well with the things on it. So unfortunately, Zohai says, hi to you too. Thank you. If you say more than that, unfortunately, this system doesn't really show this stuff really well. I don't know why they did such a bad job at it. Okay, sorry about that. Trying to fix stuff. Brazuka says, Constra immigrant visa was approved after deportation rescission. Oh, congratulations. That's a tough one. I'm glad that happened. Junior says, why does the process of green card take time? Well, the government has a lot of applications that has to go through, has to do background checks, reviews, and it's a bureaucracy. It's one of those things that takes a while. Some green card applications have delays because per year they can only give out a certain amount of those, and there's more people requesting it, so then it creates delays there. Yeah, what a regular. Good to see us. Says, I have a green card. My fiance is a citizen. I want my parents to attend my wedding in the U.S. from Africa. How can I make a strong statement if the embassy gives a visa? You can't do anything. Your parents have to show up, be themselves, and say, listen, we just want to go for the wedding, and that's that. Nobody's going to apply for them. They apply for their own visas, tourist visas, and they hope for the best, really. It's not much you can do. Tourist visas are really at the whim of the consular officer. Rachel says, how long is I-485 approval after interview? Typically, most of the time, it's within like 2 to 7 days. Sometimes 2 or 3 months. And if longer than that, longer than 4 or 5 months, they may be going some sort of investigation. Maher says, I'm having trouble getting hired because I don't have any legal experience. What should I do? Study. So when you go, you could bust out and say, hey, I have legal experience, but I'm studying. I know this form. I know what issues are involved. I'm on LinkedIn. I know all these lawyers. I follow them. I comment on them. I can get cases. I can help you with the marketing. I know marketing material. I know how people do it online. I know how this different form systems. So, for example, if you're doing immigration law, figure out how Serenade, Immigration by Serenade works, DocuWise works. Figure out the AI systems. Figure out ways to make yourself valuable for a law firm, and they can't turn you down. And don't go through it like, please give me a job. Like, listen, I have all this treasures I can bring with me. I help you with marketing. I know that. I help you with connections. I have that. I can help you with systems and designs. Have that. And this is all free stuff. You could go online and study. They just spend time on it. Nobody does it, but that's a really smart way to go about it. Do you accept guest requests? I don't. Now, there's some other shows that have guests, but there's so much confidential information that comes from, well, you guys have to ask. I don't really want to put you out there and hang you to dry because these things are public. I don't want you to say something that can be problematic, so I don't do live guests. Oh, it says 618 doesn't apply to new public charge, does it? If not, what about at the interview? The 618 is regarding unlawful presence in the United States to get that waived. It doesn't have to do with anything with public charge itself. But once the 618 is approved, you have to go do an immigrant visa interview at the U.S. Embassy abroad. There, they're going to look at the public charge rule. So you kind of have to be careful as a problem what you say in the I-618 and so how that could affect public charge rule. It's messy. Pitt says, have you helped SIV cases? No, we don't handle special immigrant visas here. Very rarely. We've had 1 or 2 unique cases, but we don't specialize in SIV cases. For those just tuning in, we take your questions live about U.S. immigration law. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi, founder of the JQK Law Firm, also founder of the Immigration Lawyers Toolbox, a media and training company for immigration lawyers. And we practice marriage immigration, investor immigration, and people with people with extraordinary ability. And we schedule a private consultation. Go to jqqlaw.com/contact to schedule that time. Consultations have fees, but we come here every week to just take general questions. Ovo says, hasn't the public charge been around forever? Yeah, public charge, the general idea of the rule has been around for 145 years now. But the issue is that how they interpret it and how strict they are goes up and down. And so we're going in a period where it's going to be more stricter. And DeAndre says, Nala, why? Sheila says, can I apply for F2A category for my wife, or should I wait until I'm a citizen? If you're going to become a citizen soon, just wait to become a citizen. It depends on how much time you have left. If it's going to be another year, no. But you might as well just go down the citizen line, because when you're F2A, you're a green card holder applying for your spouse, you get it put in that line. And once you become a citizen, they don't always understand it. And all of a sudden you get stuck in this F2A line. That's extra time. So because of that, it's not worth it. Plus, it also depends on how you became a green card holder. For example, if you got your green card based on marriage and you divorce and I get someone else's marriage green card as an F2A, that creates problems. So we got to see what's going on, but that's a general picture for you. Tina says, I messaged you on Instagram. It's not about immigration question per se, but how about your firm? How you haven't had a reply? If you're contacting about other stuff and we can't answer you, I don't respond to people on any of my social media. You got to contact the firm and contact page, Tina. But if it's not about a consultation, it's then we only handle law. I can't help you with anything else, but that's the best I can say here. Nala says, I call for my alien number and I got scheduled to go to the field office. Should I be worried? Nala, this is why people shouldn't contact the government on their own. I'm not sure why you would call the government for alien number. So I don't know about your case. I don't want you to. I don't know. No, let's not. I can't say it's good or bad. I don't know anything about the case, and that's the problem. That makes me nervous. I don't know anything about it. We usually won't call and do that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a weird situation. You might be okay, but I just don't know. I don't know anything about your case. Zohab says, does having a health insurance from the health insurance marketplace while on H-1B visa will trigger inadmissibility for green card? It depends on which insurance you got. If you said you're not making money and they gave you a cheaper one while you're working, you have income, that could be a fraud situation right there. So if it's on the marketplace and if you said you're a citizen, that's a problem right there. It's a big problem. But if you're honest and correct and you got the marketplace, essentially you have to go to marketplace many times. So it depends on what you said and what system you went in, all that kind of stuff. Brazuka said, I'm still worried about going back once I get my immigrant visa, but I should be fine, right? Probably okay. I can't tell you if I don't know anything about you to say something like that. I don't know your background. King says, what's your legal fees for I-751 solo? I don't know. I have to see what issues you have. If you have 5 kids with your spouse and no criminal history, then it's a pretty straightforward I-751 solo. But if you have no evidence and it's going to be a complicated one, the price varies. It really depends on the level of service you need. We don't charge the same price for everybody because someone may have a simple case. I don't want to charge them 4 times as much. Or if someone have a very complicated case, I can't charge them, the simple fee. So based on just saying what's your case, it's not like apples where I can say, okay, this apples, even apples every day price change. Every day oil, when you go get a gallon of gas, some days, in LA, it's like $5 and Maryland is $3. One day it's 50 cents more up and down. It's not something I can just say, it's like that. So I need to see what's going on in your personal life. And Goldie says, good night. When we get a receipt notice and create a county USCIS, how do we view our case? Try to go online into your USCIS account. It might come there, it might not. It's not a reliable system. Eob says, is it safe to travel with a asylee green card abroad? Don't go to your home country or wherever you said you were worried about returning to. Was it safe? There's always risks involved. I wouldn't recommend it, frankly, unless you really need to travel. Shabato says, my husband's case is approved for status of adjustment. Been waiting for green card for 6 months. Call up USCIS immediately. They may have sent you the green card, got lost, maybe not. Make sure it went to the right address, what address they have on file. Double check on that and make sure it is approved. Some people say we got approved and they're not. So did you get an approval notice? You got to call and look into that. You're welcome, Brazuka. Please go ahead and leave a like here. Now it says it's for my green card application. Now I lost track of what your questions are. I got to put it all in one place. Shabataglu says, can you answer my one question, please? I already answered it. So I called. They said it's pending. Okay, then hopefully that's the case then. That does happen sometimes where it takes 8 or 9 months to get it out. It's not usual, but it does happen, unfortunately. So for those joining in, we're taking your questions about U.S. immigration. Please answer your questions here. And, I haven't done this in a year or two, but I'll pick one person randomly, and I'll say, hey, contact the office with evidence of your name and who you are, a screenshot, and we'll schedule a free 15-minute chat. Reno says, how for interview after documentary qualifying means how long, I think. It depends on which U.S. embassy you're dealing with and what country issues you have. Shawatoga says, is there a way a lawyer can help? If so, this is a good stage to hire a lawyer if you can help. If your green card is not being mailed out, a lawyer can look into your case to see originally talk with you to see what happened. There's a particular issue, but sometimes the government just got to wait, maybe get a congressional person involved. So we don't usually accept the case at this point. We like to start from the beginning. Once you get into it halfway, there's always problems. But probably a lawyer can't help, but I can't say for certain. Inevitably, talking with an attorney that knows what they're doing is good because it gives you ideas of what to do, the potential routes. But we just got to sit and talk first. Ayob says it's better to wait for citizenship than for safe. Then yeah, it's better to be citizen, but it's going to take a while. Ciudad Juarez spouse. So Ciudad Juarez right now is low back. We actually just got an interview approved immediately right after the interview. They got approved yesterday. I think it was Ciudad Juarez, USIV tools, and that one it was faster than they said it would took. I got to look at the numbers. I can't remember exactly how long, but the website is saying it's going to take. Let me just go to the actual website. Ciudad Juarez. So when you want to do your immigrant visa green card interview at a U.S. embassy, each embassy has its own timelines and all the same. And it depends on what kind of case you have to get priority. For a spouse of a U.S. citizen case, for example, they're saying they're interviewing people who are documentarily qualified in May 2024. So that's a year and like 5 or 6 months if I'm doing my math, like quick math right. So I don't think it's actually going to be that long, but that's long. Jeez. But Brandon, thank you for leaving the like. At least says, how long does it take now to get approved for sibling filing as a U.S. citizen? Depends what country they're born in, what embassy they're going to deal with, but 14 to 20 years is not too abnormal. Shar Batogo says he has a house in Canada and sick parents. I don't know what to do. Did he get advanced parole? Okay, so if the green card is actually approved, the green card has just not come, and he has evidence of sick parents, he needs to contact USCIS and say, listen, I got my green card approved. It hasn't come. I need temporary evidence, a green card stamp in my passport as evidence of green card status so I can leave and come back in. So you need to do that. He did, but it's expensive to pay $700 every time. $700 for what? Sharbatagula. You mean the advanced parole? Usually advanced parole the first time you do it is valid for years. It should cover you. But if your green card is approved, then you just call them. If your green card is approved, ask for a green card stamp. Call USCIS. Lowell says, I've been hearing bonds are back for people that entered without inspections. Is it true? So the administration said that if you entered the U.S. without inspection, you snuck in essentially, and you get caught, you can't get bonded. You got to stay in jail. And this is a big issue. People are suing over it, and more they're winning, and the federal courts are saying you can't just hold people indefinitely because of that. So is it true? It is more and more happening like that, but it's an active battle right now in the courts and everything, in a case by case. Navi says, is there anything new about I-751 cases? Mine's pending 13 months. Nothing new. Usually takes 1, 2, or 3 years. That's typical. 6 months to 3 years is the average. PNK says, hi, sir. Good evening. I got my 485 approved. Status shows your green card was produced, but I don't get it. Can you tell me what you call USCIS immediately to confirm if it was sent out or not and what address it was sent to? If it got lost in the mail, which does happen sometimes, then you got to file Form I-90 to get a new one, which is very, very annoying. You don't want that to happen. You got to spend a bunch of money and wait 6 months to 4 years to get it. AAA says, do you know how you usually receive USCIS G56 interview notice from field office? Who usually receives G56 interview? I don't even know what a G56 interview is. G56 USCIS. What could you be more call-in letter? This one they just okay. So it's kind of random. So I don't call it a number. I just call it interview notice. But every once in a while they do that. It's kind of weird. I haven't seen any consistent reason why I do that. Maybe I'm missing something. But that's what usually you get when you have an interview. USCIS to send you a formal I-797 notice. But it's sometimes they'll send a G56. It's like a handwritten one by the officer. Just they mail it to you, come quick. But it's random. I've had cases that just get it. I'm like, why would they do that? So I don't see any consistency. Mbake says, is it safe to travel with temporary I-551 pending I-751? Is it safe to get in a car and drive to work? You buy insurance. It's a $1 trillion business of buying insurance when you're driving, and none of us expect we're going to get into a car accident when we leave. So is it safe to travel? Yeah, usually it is. But, I can't guarantee that. PETA says, please explain steps from citizen child to mother who enters with visa. So if you're a U.S. citizen, you want to file for a parent, first of all, you have to be 21 years older. So child's got to wait. And then secondly, the parent has to have lawful entry, which it seems that you have the evidence of that. So you can start the case if you're over 21, you have lawful entry. There's issues where if you like enter and immediately file and then look like immigrant intent, meaning you weren't coming as a tourist, for example, you really wanted to stay here, depending on what kind of visa you had. And there's public charge issues, which we talked about earlier. You got to be mindful of that. And eventually you're going to be out of status because the case might take too long and the government could pick you up and detain you. So there's a little bit of risk there. But it's a quick overview. Please schedule a consultation, jqqlaw.com/contact, and we get into more details in private about that and learn about your background. Shaba Tagula says, my husband's I-485 is pending. It's pending, so it's not approved. Okay. My I-485 is pending. The case is approved. It's just 485 that says pending. So the case isn't approved. You mean your I-130 is approved. Your I-485 is pending. So this is where people say the wrong things, and I can't realize. So your I-485, if it's not approved, it's not approved. It's pending. So the only way you could get is advanced parole. What is it? 625. How much is advanced parole right now? Let me see. But the thing is, you got to get emergency advanced parole because even if you file for advanced parole right now, it's going to take too long to get it. So you have to request emergency advanced parole at the USCIS field office, jump through a lot of hoops, and it depends on how sick the parents are and what kind of evidence you have for them to even approve that. So it's problems. I'm sorry, it's problems. But the filing fee is $630, so it's a little bit less than $700, but I know it's expensive. AAB says, got divorced after 3 months of getting my green card. It was a bona fide marriage, but I'm afraid they won't believe me when I file 5751. Well, you got to document it and go into detail what happened, have personal statements, potentially evidence of your relationship, all that kind of stuff. We've had cases like that approved, but it really depends on the facts and how well the case is prepared. You 100% should have an immigration lawyer helping you with that case. Please excuse me. I got to kill this mosquito before he chops again. Yes. Champion. I killed the mosquito. I'm so happy. It bit me like 4 times. My feet are all itchy like crazy right now. Okay, let's get back to the show. Where was the Instagram page where I had questions? I really enjoy killing mosquitoes. That's I'm sure you guys do too. Oh no, I closed the Instagram page by accident. AB says, should I join the Army or apply for I-751 with waiver? You're gonna have to file I-751 with waiver, but whether you should join the Army and stuff, I mean, that's like a personal question. So that's up to you if you want to do that. Okay, accidentally shut down. Oh, here we're back. Okay. Oh, we're back on Instagram. Okay, so let's go next questions. Sharbatua says, that's the money to pay every time. You only pay once, advanced parole. Do you think a lawyer can help me on the case at this stage? I don't know, Sharbatua. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. But it's only once you pay advanced parole. Your case is probably getting approved, so it is a waste of money. But I don't know. Can a lawyer help you? I don't know what your issues are. So you've asked that several times. Talk with a lawyer. You can't just guess. You got to sit and talk. It's like, can a doctor help me if I'm sick? Well, you got to go to the doctor. You got to get tested or what you got to do. You can't guess at it. So schedule a consultation with a lawyer. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. If so, can I reach out for pricing availability? Yeah, schedule a consultation. The consultation has fees, but there's other attorneys that do different things. Talk with several different people. Go to jqqlaw.com/contact, and we can take it from there. Anaya says, do hurricanes damage count as urgent humanitarian emergency for expedite requests? The hurricane damages count. What is the thing you're requesting, and how does the hurricane damage go to that? So it really depends. Any more to a story. Triple A says, are they detaining people without criminal records at USS interviews only because of overstaying? Unfortunately, that's happening. It's not widespread. It's kind of sporadic. They do that, but it's freaking scary. That's a crazy situation. But yeah, it's very nerve-wracking. PK follows up, sir, one more question. Should I join U.S. Army? They said they will fast-track citizenship. What's the pros and cons? I mean, the con is you got to join the Army. Now, God bless. We need soldiers and stuff, but the con is you risk your life going to a fight in the Middle East for other people stealing money from our government, essentially. So the con is they're going to use you like a slave and abuse you. The pros is you get citizenship a little faster. So that's you got to weigh it out. So okay, sure, can do. Thanks so much. You're welcome. Yeah, thanks, Shatuka. PK says, haha. We actually we help a lot of service members, and that's the least we could do to help them for what they've signed up for. Yeah, it's important to help our country. Thank you. But the way this government's run, honestly, the country's always run. All the countries everywhere in the world, just abusing soldiers. So we need soldiers, but yeah, you all know what's going on in the world. It's just a wicked situation. So shoot out your questions before and let me talk about immigration and less political stuff that get me in trouble. so, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. I have only a couple more minutes. Shoot out your questions. We got 2,000 likes. I appreciate it on TikTok. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Download our guide, the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. Go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Again, the website is marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And if you want to learn the process of citizenship, go to jqqlaw.com/citizenship. It's the Ultimate Naturalization Citizenship Guide. We have no name here, but sent expedite request for pending I-485. Answer was required. USS interview still in process. It's very rare that you're going to be able to expedite an I-485 unless it's just really specific situation. That's not really realistic. PK says, you're the best. Thank you so much. My hope says I have a question. Well, that's what everyone's doing. Just ask the question. Don't ask a question to ask a question. One of the most annoying things on a Q&A show. That's okay, Mahfoud. Let me know. I'm going to be leaving in a few minutes. What's the process, though? You have to wait for your interview. That's about it when they have time. BBRI says, how long is the processing I-485 based on granted asylum? Those are taking a long time, like 1 to 3 years. Hopefully they're getting faster. EL follows up. When is a good time to apply for citizenship? 6 months before hitting the 5th year with green card. When's a good time to apply for citizenship? 9 months, not 6 months. Yeah, 90 days. I'm sorry, 90 days before the time. 6 months too early, they'll deny the case. That. And no name says request for pending. Sent expedite request for pending. So there's no process. You got to wait. Really, if there's 120s that pass, you kind of contact the field office, say, hey, can I help you? And longer than that, you got to sue. And frankly, we got to look to see if at that point, if it's 4 or 5 months, is there a reason you think they might be doing an investigation or what's going on with the case? Jay says, are conditional green card holders married to U.S. citizens safe from prior visa overstays? If you got your conditional green card approved and you mentioned the overstay and you didn't do other issues, then yeah, that's been approved. But we got to see what happened during overstay. You didn't do anything wrong. Mandeep says, sir, how much do you charge for permanent green card divorce case? And is it possible to get the green card? It is possible all the time. We had this another question asked about that earlier for someone else. I don't know what it'll be. It depends on your case. As the example I gave, if you have 5 kids from your previous spouse, and it's going to be easy to prove the ratio was real, but it just didn't work out. But you have no case, no joint documents, no history together. Your spouse is from a different culture, doesn't speak the same language as you, and is 40 years age difference. I've seen all this before. Then it's going to get tougher. So it's going to be, the price goes up and down depending on how complicated your case is. That's why you have to have a consultation to see what's going on. Liberez says, hi, what's your thoughts on a mandamus lawsuit and delay lawsuits? Would you file those, and how much you charge? We don't handle lawsuits, so I can't help you with that. If you feel like you need it, then something to look into, but we don't handle those kind of lawsuits. We don't do lawsuits. Diamond 2 says, how long does the MVC take to review documents and send DQ notice? Right now, they're being pretty fast, 2 to 4 weeks on average. Sometimes it gets longer, but right now, 2 to 4 weeks. Navneet says, how long is N400 in California taking filed in June? Still waiting. So California is a big state. We have a lot of different field offices. In Southern California alone, we have San Diego, San Bernardino, Santa Ana, Orange County, Santa Ana, LA, Valley. So they have Fresno, San Jose, San Francisco. Then there's more Sacramento. So that's not very helpful to say California, but 6 to 12 months is a good time frame. How do you contact the field office? So the location that you got the interview notice will have an address. Mail to there. If you know the name of the officer handling your case, do attention and then their name. And they'll get it. Maybe say, hey, could you help us out? Do you need anything else to make a decision? But before I say that, I want to review your case because you might have issues, and that might create more problems for you. So I can't recommend you do something until I see. Maybe you're okay. You're probably okay. But if you have problems, I don't want to sit here and tell you what to do or something like that because I don't know. So you want to have a good attorney review your file, all that kind of stuff first. Nobody says, how long is N400 Sacramento? I don't know. I'm still in California. I don't typically file N400s in Sacramento, so I don't have that. San Jose, we just did one, happened pretty fast, 6 months or 5-6 months. Double says, U.S. citizen applied I-130 for spouse abroad in April. Can I request expedite for my surgery in January? I haven't had success doing those expedites. Give it a shot, but I haven't had success. BBRI says, can I file with you my I-485 asylee 8 months before one of your physical presence? You can. We just filed one. My associate filed one today for a person that was 11 months. We try to go more towards the 12-month mark, but 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. It takes clients 2 months anyways to get all the stuff we need. So by that point, it'll be close enough. But yeah, schedule a consultation, jqklaw.com/contact, and we can look into it. I got to go over your history more, see what's going on to see if it's not problematic. Sometimes you'll file for a green card, and there's a bunch of stuff that are problematic that weren't noticed before, and they get noticed now, and then it's a disaster. So we want to check as much as we can with whatever documents we can get our hands on to see what's going on. Now, thank you for gifting. Harry says, USCI submitted their lockbox error and payment processing today. Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that. It's a disaster. So the government makes mistakes, and they send your case back saying you sent the wrong amount of money, and it's really annoying. And this person, they rarely admit to the error, but I'm glad you got that, Harry. Mr. and Mrs. Malia says, waiver I-61 is approved. Congrats. Is this safe to go to home country India for the interview? Is this safe? I don't know. I don't know. Safety is not, only God can give you that one. You never know what the consular officer is going to say. Cashmay says, did they make the immigration test more questions? Yeah, they added more questions to it. And so it's a new 100. It's not 100 questions anymore. It's like 120 or something. I can't remember. And you got to get like 12 of them right. I can't remember exactly what it was. It's just a new thing that's settling in right now. But having said that, we hit the 30-minute mark. We'll be back again next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Take your questions live. If you want a consultation, go to our website, jqklaw.com/contact. And 99% of the questions asked here, we have clips of them on all our social media pages and long videos on all of them. So they're all on YouTube and Instagram. If you go check them out, everything's there. People ask this stuff over and over again. We answer over again. So do that. Liberal says, do people still win asylum cases? Yeah, there's tens of thousands of people filing for asylum. Some win, some lose. Would you advise someone to get his interview scheduled before USCIS now? Could this be a big risk given the detained people when they show? I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Someone get his interview scheduled. There's no way you could get your interview scheduled. It's when the government wants to do that. But it's a risk you got to take. You get it. Do you people? Okay, so that's that. We answer all the questions we have right now. We reached the max. Thank you everyone for reaching out. Again, jqklaw.com/contacts place to go. If you want to download our Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide, go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Again, that's marriageimmigrationlaw.com. The Ultimate Naturalization Citizenship Guide is at jqklaw.com/citizenship. jqklaw.com/citizenship. God bless, be safe, and I'll see you all again next week. Bye-bye.